It's time for Tiger Talk on the Tiger Sports Network. Tiger Talk, live from Tiger Club inside the Robins Center on the Fort Hays State Campus, is brought to you by these premier Tiger sponsors. Golden Belt Bank of Hayes and Ellis, banking one story at a time. The Hayes Med Orthopedic Institute, expertise, technology, compassion, all right here. Adams Brown, strategic allies and CPAs, going above and beyond for you. BTI, your John Deere dealer with locations in Buckland, Great Bend, Greensburg, Hoxie, Ness City, and Pratt. BTI, our family in partnership with your family. The Taco Shop, dine in, carry out, or delivery. Since 1970, you've never had it so good. And Eagle, our community connected. Tiger Talk with the voice of the Tigers, Gerard Wellbrock.
And a good afternoon and welcome into Tiger Talk. We are live at the Robins Center inside the Fort Hays State University campus, and we're glad to have you aboard after taking last Wednesday off due to the Thanksgiving holiday week. No school at Fort Hays State. Glad to be back here. Our final show in November. We're going to talk some basketball and wrestling. Going to mix up the order a little bit. We'll have men's coach Mark Johnson on first as the Tiger men getting ready to hit the road to head to Tahlequah, opening MIAA play against Northeastern State tomorrow night. Then we'll talk some wrestling with Eric Wentz and then wrap up the program with women's basketball coach Talia Cars. As always, you can join us, submit your question. Of course, anyone here in person with Tiger Club, you'll have the notepad at the table and a pen. You can submit your question that way. If you're listening to us today, you can go to the Fort Hays State Athletics website, FHSUathletics.com. Click on the fans tab. You'll get the drop down. You'll see it there. Ask the coach, submit your question. I'll try to keep an eye on my phone to try to get to that. And if we use it, you have a chance to win a T-shirt from the Fort Hays State Athletic Department. Tiger men and women getting set to open MIAA basketball play tomorrow night. Hard to believe conference play is here. We're joined now by the head men's coach at Fort Hays State, Mark Johnson. Been a while since we talked to you on the program. I guess a lot has happened. Your team's off to a 4-1 start. Got a couple of wins last week to kind of tune things up, and the grind of MIAA play is upon us.
Yeah, you know, at our level, Division II conference starts early. You look most of your Division I leagues, KU, K-State, they're not going to start till after January, so we kind of get sped up with timing, and like I said, we're here, it's upon us, and it's a long season with 22 games, so you know, we look at it both ways. One, if you don't have great success, you can't bury your head and get too negative. There's a long way to go. At the same time, you don't want to have it be March and look back and go, gosh, if we would have came ready to play in Oklahoma in early December, it might have changed what we're able to do right now. So just got to go out there and be ready to play. And you know, the thing for us right now, we got to continue to get better. We're not near playing as well as I think we're capable of playing, and we just got to keep putting the effort in every day.
Well, you went out to Denver. You had those two games down in Emporia and got two nice wins. And when we talked about it going into those, they carry so much weight. You look back last year, that game one loss to Southwestern Oklahoma State may have been what kept you out of the NCAA tournament. So good way to start the year, going down there and getting a couple of wins. And then you go out to Denver, play MSU Denver, who at the time kind of thought that's not going to be a bad loss at the end of the year. You lose in overtime to them and had a great comeback. And, you know, they're shooting up the polls in the top 10 now in the national rankings. But you had a pretty good slate early of Division II competition to start off the season.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way it is now with that exempt tournament starting off. You got to get your feet to the fire early. Thought we played pretty well that opening weekend. After the first 10 minutes of the opening game, we settled in and played well the rest of the weekend. And then went out to Metro and knew it would be a challenging game and did not play very well. We were 11 of 19 from the foul line. We didn't shoot the ball well. We had too many turnovers. But a credit to our guys for even getting that to overtime. I mean, if you go back and watch that film, we should have probably got buried. We didn't play good enough to win that game, but our guys, again, just a competitive nature and fighting and not falling down in the second half and keep battling. Got it to overtime and felt like you had a little bit of momentum in overtime and because we hit the three to tie it, you know, we're pretty happy. Obviously, they're probably a little bit down. And had a miscommunication on the open possession of defense. They got a dunk, and then we missed the front end of a one-on-one, and that kind of just changed the momentum of overtime. And with only 5 minutes to go in overtime, I mean, those things can make a difference. Not to say we would have won, but I think it kind of changed the momentum for us. But then came back and played, Thanksgiving Central Christian and Manhattan Christian, and great atmosphere on Tuesday. I thought our guys played really hard. We did not play well again. I think some of our guys' first home game, and then the added of nice crowd and a loud crowd, I think maybe made a few guys a little nervous. And then Manhattan Christian, I thought we played okay. I mean, the biggest thing in the first half, they made shots. I mean, that's the thing about basketball. I mean, they made about 4 or 5 shots in the first half that they really probably are not capable of making consistently very much. So even though it was tied, I think it was more about them making a few shots than us not playing extremely well or anything.
Yeah, let's talk about last Tuesday, Kids Day, the first ever, and I know you've said it a lot. Thanks to everybody involved, Fort Hays State Athletics, USD 49, TMP Holy Family. That was a cool atmosphere. Hopefully it's something that can be built off, because that was, if that was a Tuesday evening game, it'd have been, the crowd would have been what it was. The students are gone. That certainly changed things. And as you said after the game, kids are just loud. It was extremely loud in there on Tuesday.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and any time you do something like this, if you're not involved, I don't think you just assume things automatically happen. There was a lot that had to happen there between Fort Hays State athletic department and USD 49 to make that go, and I don't want that to go understated. Like I said, you think it's just easy to get them there. There was a lot that had to happen on both ends, and a lot of people put a lot of effort into doing that. We're appreciative, like I said after the game. I'm very appreciative of the teachers. That's a long day for some young kids to be there, and I appreciate their patience in doing that. And pretty much since that day, me personally, I've heard nothing but positive feedback. So I agree. Hopefully going forward, that's something we can continue to do. I think everybody involved had a great experience. I know our players and our program really enjoyed it, and I agree. Hopefully that's something that we can do in the future.
Kyle Grill hit a 3, and then he got a dunk late. So I'm guessing for all those who've not been to Fort Hays State games before, he's probably their new favorite player because he did the best of both worlds.
Yeah. I mean, hit a 3 and get a dunk even in warm-ups. Every time our guys went up and dunked, there was a roar in that. And luckily I was not playing, because I would have been the one guy on the team that, everybody can dunk today. In my era, it was a little different. So I would have had to slap the backboard on a layup or something to make it look cool.
Well, just happy to hit the net, so glad to hear that. Tigers get a couple of tune-up wins and now get set for opening MIAA play, which begins tomorrow night in Tahlequah against Northeastern State. We're going to take a break. We'll come back and preview the weekend. A couple of big ones on the road against the Riverhawks and the Rogers State Hillcats. We'll do that next. This is the Tiger Sports Network, built by PwC. In low it goes to Trajan Davis. He'll bang inside. Leans, can't shoot. Back to B. Top of the key 3. He knocked it in. He hit the 3 to force overtime on Sunday, and he knocks the three-pointer in right there. The Tigers have the early 3-0 lead. That's some of the action from last Tuesday, Kids Day, and you can hear the crowd as Bjarne Janssen hits that three-pointer to get the Tigers off and rolling in that win over Central Christian. Welcome back to Tiger Talk. It's brought to you in part today by the Taco Shop. Whether you order by phone, use their handy app, dine-in, carry-out, or delivery, you've never had it so good. The Taco Shop, they've been a Hays tradition since 1970. Fort Hays State on the road this weekend, starting MIAA play. Tigers have 4 of their first 6 conference games away from home. At Northeastern State tomorrow night, then at Rogers State on Saturday afternoon. And this is always a challenging road trip. And we'll start tomorrow in Tahlequah, Northeastern State, off to a 4-1 start. And it's always a tough place to play. They always seem to play well down there, but these will be 2 tough ones out of the gate.
Yeah, anytime you go on the road in our league, it's difficult. You look at Rogers State on Saturday. We've never won there. It's a hard place to play. And same thing with Northeastern. Coach Havens there does a good job getting players. I mean, that's the thing with men's basketball. I mean, everybody has players. You look at their team last year, they had 2 guys that just transferred and now are starting at New Mexico State and Wofford, 2 Division I's, and they finished 9th in our league. And he's done a great job of replenishing their roster. They got a guy that played at DePaul in Nebraska and some talented guys. They do a good job of bringing in some talented guys. So it'll be a big test for us. Always talk about going on the road. If you can find a way to win road games, you really feel like you're gaining ground on most people in the league. At home, you're trying to survive and not lose ground on the road, just opportunities to move up the ladder and things like that. So it'll be a good opening test for us, and I know our guys are excited to get MIAA play going.
And defensively, you guys, I think, have been pretty good so far this year, and you look at their numbers, and I know it's early, but their field goal percentage defense near the top of the conference, 3-point defense. I mean, this could be one of those games where you really got to grind it out offensively because both appear to be, so far early on, playing some pretty good D.
Yeah, it's like I was saying, you look at some of these games, I mean, a lot of our games are grind. Like I go back and I watch like Manhattan Christian, and we do this a lot. The other team has to take 25 or 30 seconds to get a shot off. So it's hard to get up and down and play fast and get it to be a 90 to 80 and all that. So I'm assuming and hoping we're going to do the same thing to these guys and make it hard and then take time to get a shot off, and then hopefully we can get some opportunities. But definitely with Rogers, I could see it being a low-scoring game. I feel like Northeastern plays pretty fast, pretty quick. Maybe they will take some quicker shots against us and get it more of a little bit of an up-tempo game. But you're right. So far, their stats defensively are very good.
And you mentioned Rogers. It seems like there's any team in the MIAA that mirror one another and how you guys go about it. It's Rogers State and Fort Hays State. I mean, your defense first, you get after it, and just the style of play seems to be very similar.
Yeah, Justin, Coach Barkley at Rogers, he actually played at Northeastern State and won a national championship as a player there, and he's a coach at Rogers. But they do a good job. They're physical. They're a tough team, and like anytime you're on your home floor, whatever you do well, you usually do it even better at home. Whether you're a pressing team, your press is more effective at home. If you're an aggressive physical team, you kind of more of that even at home than on the road. And if you look at, like Rogers, for instance, you look at their record most years, they're in conference 10-1, 9-2, 8-3 at home, and maybe only 3-8, 4-7. So only playing them once and having these games on the road it will be a challenge. Last year we only played them once, and they were here, and we beat Northeastern in overtime and beat Rogers and got off to a really good start to the season. Hopefully we can do the same again.
Only played 5 games, getting into the conference opener. What have you liked from your team so far, and what areas have to get better here pretty quick early?
Again, it's a small sample size, only 5 games. We've played no MIAA games yet. I mean, statistically, we're actually guarding even better this year than last year. Now, will that hold up? I don't know. But I would have thought we were going to have some type of drop-off, and we might eventually drop off. We're not quite as big as we were a year ago. So that's the positive. We're guarding even better than a year ago. I would say the negative is we're points per possession. We're worse. I hate to use the word worse. We're not doing as well as a year ago, and that can't continue. That has to get better. So hopefully, I thought some guys, Sean Riley got off to a great start. We do not win that game. He has 15-10 opening game of the year, and sometimes new guys struggle right away, and then sometimes they have a little bit of success early. Then they kind of hit the struggle, and he's kind of struggling right now. Elijah had a great opening weekend. Has not played quite as well. He had a nice second half against Manhattan Christian, but if we can just get everybody starting to play well as a group, I think we can turn the corner there on offense and start doing better. Probably need Caleb to get a more aggressive. I think at times right now he's turning down opportunities. We probably need him to score. I don't want him to think that he doesn't need to score. He probably still needs to score this year for us to be good and get him back to be maybe a little more aggressive shooting the ball and looking to score more.
All right, sounds good. Should be a lot of fun this weekend on the road. Tahlequah tomorrow night, Claremore on Saturday afternoon. The start of conference play. We always talk about the grind. It is a grind. 22 games, and everyone has huge importance. And as you said, these 2 right out of the gate are going to be just as big as when you play Northwest or anybody else down the road.
Yeah, for sure. Every game counts as one, and we have a very challenging schedule. You look at Northeastern, at Rogers, Northwest Missouri at home. Missouri Western is undefeated at home, and then at Central Oklahoma, who's number 4 in the country. So our first 3 weeks at conference are probably our hardest stretch. So not that any game is easy and any stretch in this league is easy, but we have to somehow, so if we can survive the first part of our conference schedule and keep getting better and throwing some wins in there with that, hopefully second semester kind of opens up for us and we can have great success to finish the season. But right now we got to find a way to accomplish some things here in the first, the next 3 to 4 weeks.
All right, sounds good. Travel safe. We'll see you down in Tahlequah tomorrow
night.
Thanks, there you go. Mark Johnson, head coach of the Fort Hays State Tigers. Again, they'll be in Tahlequah tomorrow night. Women's and men's doubleheader, 5:30 and 7:30. Of course, it'll be on the MIAA network. You can obviously listen to it on Tiger Radio Mix 103.3. Kansas Department of Transportation and the Drive to Zero Coalition invite you to join Tiger fans with a plan. If you're going to be drinking, always designate a sober driver. We've got more Tiger Talk right after this on the Tiger Sports Network, built by PwC.
The Golden Q is the place for football and food. Friday night, when your team is out of town, stop in for your favorite burger and watch the game, plus catch every NFL game with the NFL Sunday Ticket. Want to enjoy the game from home, but still eat the Golden Q's tasty food? Use their app to place an order to go, or use DoorDash. Then, when it's time to blow off some steam, head to the Fort, duck pin, bowling, axe throwing, VR, and check out their huge outdoor patio. Book a party room for your group or host a large gathering at the Fort. The Golden Q and the Fort in Hays.
7 seconds to go. Caleb trying to get free. Dumps it over to Holden. Jaheim to Jansson. 3 from the corner. Gone! He hit it! We're going to overtime! Beyonce Jansson from the right corner. Buries a 3 to tie it up at 62. That was the action a couple of weeks ago in Denver. The three-pointer, the force overtime, and the Tigers lost to MSU Denver, who's now in the top 10 in the Division II poll. So quality loss, if you will, for Fort Hays State. We're going to talk some wrestling here with Eric Wentz. Before we do, though, we're at the bottom of the hour. Let's squeeze in 10 seconds for station identification here on the Tiger Sports Network.
With a combination of Kaiser Liquor and Fort Hays State Athletics, you're sure to be into something good. Kaiser Liquor and 14 KEYS Hays.
Tiger Talk brought to you in part today by BTI, your John Deere dealer. Locations in Buckland, Great Bend, Greensburg, Hoxie, Ness City, and Pratt. BTI, our family, in partnership with your family. Joined now by head men's wrestling coach Eric Wentz. I don't know where we start. A lot has happened since we talked to you the last time, previewing the black and gold scrimmage. You've had a few duels. You've been to some opens. I guess we'll just start with your evaluation on how your guys have wrestled so far.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of an unintentional meat grinder for our guys. We had a great black and gold. Guys looked awesome. We were pretty excited to start the season off, and then we opened up with New Mexico Highlands and Northern Colorado in a tri-duel, and did what we should have done against New Mexico Highlands. Lost a couple of close ones in that one, and then Northern Colorado, Division I, Big 12. Figure, we did it last year. It's a good time. It's a great environment. And, they've got a couple guys ranked in the top 25. They're 125-pounders ranked top 10 right now in Division I. And it was a great test for our guys, and it was a pretty hostile environment. They set chairs up right along the mat for spectators. They were selling alcohol. And so it was a pretty awesome environment. And then followed that up with a duel at Northern State. They're currently ranked 11th. That was kind of a last-minute deal to set that duel up. And, we wrestled really well. That's, again, a tough environment. They've got a lot of tough Minnesota, North Dakota, South Dakota guys that, they're just real stingy, and they're physically – They know where the weight room is, and we lost a couple close ones, got a couple good wins, and so it was a good test for our guys to see where they're at, and then that was a good lead up because we just stayed for the Dakota Wesleyan Open the following week, and had a really good showing there. That's always a good one. You got the opportunity to win a lot of matches, and then you also got the opportunity to probably take a couple losses if you're not on your A game for the entire day. And we have a 6-match maximum rule per day competition, and if you do well but drop one here or there, you're probably going to hit that six match rule. So it's a good gauge to see where we're at with some some I'm not gonna say average competition, but guys that are more comparable to us than Northern Colorado, obviously.
And go back to that one, to the Open. Tony Caldwell champion for you. Had 4 placers. Obviously, he wrestled well to win that championship.
Yeah, he made some big strides that day. He beat a couple of guys that he lost to at that tournament last year, so that was good for him. But it's heavyweight's one of those. If you get on a roll at heavyweight, it's you can really gain some ground on some guys that are maybe ahead of you physically or a little older. But he had a really good day. Terrius Henry obviously had a good day. He lost in the finals to a guy from Southwest Minnesota State that actually Marty Verhage beat for 5th and 6th 2 years ago at 184 at Nationals. So the kid's returning All-American, missed the national tournament due to illness last year, but he's the real deal. He's currently, he jumped ahead of Terrius in the rankings after that event, and so but overall we had a lot of guys do well, win a lot of matches, and got some good matches in.
And then you're up in Kearney, the Eunice Hospitality Open. I know that's always a great event, some great competition. You had a couple of placers in that one for you. How do you feel you guys did it up in Kearney?
I'll tell you what, even though we only had 2 placers, the way we competed that day was outstanding. We battled hard. We were very physical. It was a very physical tournament. A lot of Division I guys. Terrius Henry lost in the semifinals to a U20 world bronze medalist who's going to be at Nebraska next year. He's currently training full-time at the Olympic Training Center. And it was a last-minute takedown. It was a 1-to-1 match, and Terrius gave up a takedown late, and with a 3-point takedown this year, it's kind of tough to come back from. So, especially against a high-caliber guy.
And then you have Cody Hicks also placing 6th in that 165 bracket.
Yeah, Cody, I'll tell you what, man. That guy's a competitor. He had to wear a face mask for most of the day. He got cut twice on his right side above his eyebrow, one below his eye, and then that was at Dakota Wesleyan. And then in the first match that day, got about a 2-inch gash above his other eye. We joke, we say it's because his head's so big, he can't get it out of the way. But he just wrestles so hard, and for him to battle back after being cut open, and he's going to be sorely missed because he won't be back after this season. We just love having that guy around.
All right, coming up, a big one that everybody looks forward to every year, the Bob Smith Open. That'll be this Saturday. Gets underway at 9 o'clock, and then you'll wrap up the first semester at the Midwest Classic. We'll touch on a little bit in Indianapolis, but let's talk about the Bob Smith. Always a fun event, named after the longtime coach here at Fort Hays State, Bob Smith. Give us a preview. Who's coming? I know this thing keeps getting bigger and bigger every year, and it's become a great event.
Yeah, it was a little down last year. I think just because of the date, because it was close to finals, we decided to move it up a week so that maybe we could build it, and we almost doubled our numbers.
Oh, wow.
So we're currently sitting at 325 entries. Over 40 Division I guys are coming. Oklahoma State sending 22 or 23 guys, both attached and unattached. Oklahoma's sending 6 guys. Air Force is sending 15. Plus, you got some perennial powerhouses in Division II. Adams State's coming; they're bringing a full crew. They've currently got 32 guys registered. Wow. So it's going to be a great day. It's going to be a longer day than last year, but hopefully we're in it for the long haul. Because with that kind of competition, I'm hoping we're not sitting around watching at our own tournament too early. But it's going to be a great gauge. We got the elite athlete program from the Olympic Training Center sending the same 4 guys they sent to the Kearney tournament. So Terrius hopefully will get another shot at the guy that he lost to in the semis there. So, it's going to be another good test for us.
Tell us about the format. I know it gets underway at 9 o'clock. How many mats? So, when's a good time for folks to come on out? So it's going to be such a long day.
Yeah, so wrestling starts at 9 a.m. It's I think it's a $10 admission fee for spectators, $5 for K through 12 kids. And wrestling will be going on all day. We're projected to do about 10 hours of wrestling that day. So it's going to be a long but a good day. And with that kind of caliber of wrestling, there's not going to be much downtime, or you're going to, if you come to watch good wrestling, you're going to see it that day.
Well, as we talked about with the Kids Day that went on for basketball last Tuesday, a lot of work to put this on, obviously for you guys to secure the teams and everything, but just it's a full day and it's all hands on deck. But it has become one of I think the region's premier wrestling event, which is evident. Obviously, you picked a good weekend, but just the folks that come and compete in all the schools, different levels, everybody wants to be a part of this, and it takes a lot of people to pull this thing off.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, the administration here, outstanding. You know, Seth and Ryan and the Sports Info, if they wanted to run tournaments for a living, they could probably do it. So, for them to be able to, just push start at the beginning of the day, and I don't have to stand around and sit behind a computer and help do work. I can actually coach my guys, and we got the rest of the administration that are going to be around and help with logistics and things like that. It's it makes my job a whole lot easier. I can actually focus on my guys and making sure that we're doing what we're supposed to do that day. But it's a great event. Coach Smith is going to be here.
Cool.
And we got a big alumni group coming out to watch. We'll do a little recognition for those guys before. But, it's an awesome event, and I look forward to it every year.
Always fun when Coach Bob Smith can make it back for that. I know he's been back from time to time to observe and be a part of that. Real quick, before we let you go, let's maybe do a preview. You'll have a final tune-up before you break for semester. The 16th and 17th, the Saturday and Sunday. You go back to Indianapolis, the Midwest Classic. That's always, as you said, a gauntlet of a schedule. That just adds to it. That's some of the most premier guys.
Yeah, you're going to – if you place at the Midwest Classic, you got a real good shot at being a top 8 guy at the national tournament. It's that tough. I think it's 36 or 40 teams, and they're all of us are top 25, top 30. You're gonna get hands on guys that are competing for a national title, pretty early in that tournament. And if you're not ready to go that weekend, it's going to be a short weekend for you, and we'll make the 12-hour drive home early.
Well, hopefully that's not the case. As you look at your team, we talked about you've got a lot of veteran guys back. You got a lot of new faces. Have you been happy with the progression? How maybe some of the younger guys acclimated now into the world of collegiate wrestling?
Yeah, it's been good. Like I said, the unintentional meat grinder that we put together. Even guys like Terrius Henry, who's preseason number 3, has taken 3 or 4 losses. And then we've got Tony Caldwell doing really well. We got a couple guys that have been in and out of the lineup due to injuries, but that's what happens when you wrestle a tough schedule. Is you're going to get a little banged up. So we've been having to pick and choose when we put guys out, but the young guys are coming along, and we got some guys on red shirt right now that are wrestling in all these opens that are doing really well. But the young guys are picking it up. I think obviously they're frustrated at times because they're used to if they're freshmen, they're used to kicking everybody's butt in high school, and then they come in here and they make some of them are struggling just to get a takedown every now and then. So it's a great way to test our guys early, but it's so they know what level they have to get to in order to compete at the next level by the end of the year or by next season. Okay, you got 9 months to figure out how to get it done at a high level.
We might talk a little bit about the Women's Open starting at 9 a.m. on Sunday a little bit. I know, obviously, you're the men's coach, but you work closely with the new program. Maybe talk about that a little bit for the Women's Open.
Yeah, so, they'll be running a tournament Sunday starting at 9. They're going to have, I think he said, roughly 75 to 85 entries. They lost a couple teams this week that bailed on them last minute. But it's going to be a good day. They've got Colorado Mesa coming. Colorado Mesa is a perennial women's power in the not just in the RMAC, but in the country. They've got some really high-level girls that are competing for them. Plus, our own girls are doing really well. They got Caden Piper Caden, who's placed at the Missouri Valley Open, which is a good gauge, kind of like our Midwest Classic is. You place there, you got a good shot at placing in the Nationals. Obviously, them being all on red shirt, is really more about them getting some mat time, and it's going to be a good day. They're going to run a couple mats, and it'll be a good glimpse of getting some freestyle back in Gross Coliseum, because it's been a while since freestyle's been in there.
So that'll be at 9 a.m. on Sunday. If you didn't get enough wrestling on Saturday, you can come back and participate and watch that. We're still waiting on Coach Cars. I know the women are practicing right now. Maybe talk a little bit more about your team, about maybe the MIAA race. Obviously you got 2 of the premier programs in the country that you're competing against every year, but it looks like that's going to be hot and heavy again this year.
It's all, and with the improvements that Central Missouri has made, they're looking really good right now. They got some guys in and out of the top 25, but obviously UCO still ranked number 1. They graduated a couple, but they got some 6th or 7th year seniors, and they picked up a couple of transfers that are going to be impact guys. But they qualified all 10, had 9 All-Americans last year, and I think they only lost 2 of those guys. We haven't seen them much this year. They haven't been anywhere we've been, but they're kind of easing their guys in because they have a lot of older guys who don't need the match count, so they're looking good. Kearney's going to be interesting. It could be an interesting dual meet as well. They're probably lower in the rankings than they've been in a while, but it's not because they're not good. It's because the rest of the country is catching up. And so they're going to have some new faces in the lineup. But right now I think we're ranked 3rd in the MIAA. UCM is right on our heels at number 4, and then Newman's always got tough guys. Their numbers aren't big, but they've got a really tough 157-pounder who can make some noise this year. So, conference-wise, it's not going to be a whole lot easier than the first half of the season for us.
Sounds good. We're looking forward to that. Hey, best of luck Saturday. Good luck, and full day of wrestling gets underway at 9 a.m. And as Coach said, about 10 hours of wrestling, so pop on out there and watch some great collegiate wrestling. Eric, as always, we appreciate it. Have a great tournament. Look forward to talking to you again next week.
Thanks.
There you go. That's Eric Wentz, head wrestling coach at Fort Hays State University. Again, the Bob Smith Open, 9 a.m. on Saturday, and then at 9 a.m. on Sunday it'll be the Women's Open. Tiger Talk brought to you in part by the HaysMed Orthopedic Institute, the most comprehensive orthopedic care in Western Kansas. Learn more at haysmed.com/orthopedics. Head women's coach Talia Cars joins us next here on the Tiger Sports Network, built by PwC.
Ready to discover something new? The next time you're in your car, tune your radio to 94.3 FM.
It's here. It's Hayes' greatest hits.
Love it.
On 1400 KAYS and 94.3 FM.
94.3 FM, KAYS. Go ahead, check us out.
A 3 by Haydad. Nope, she fakes, drives, got it to Reed on the baseline. She misses, and Stearns gets the rebound. Mesa blinks first. Fort Hays State can score and take their biggest lead of the game. Galladay, kick out. Ernie for 3. Good! Megan Ernie's first 3 of the game, and Fort Hays State leads 47-40. It's their biggest lead of this contest.
Yeah, that was almost a couple of weeks ago out in Lakewood, the Fort Hays State women knocking off Colorado Mesa, 65-62, big win. And then the next day, last time they played on the 20th, beat MSU Denver in Denver, 64-45. Welcome back to Tiger Talk. It's brought to you in part by Golden Belt Bank. Your life has a story. Golden Belt Bank wants to get to know that story. Golden Belt Bank, Hayes and Ellis. Visit them at goldenbeltbank.com. We're joined by women's head basketball coach Talia Cars. Had to go back and think. It's been a while. It's almost like you're starting the season again. You have all those preseason workouts. You play them back-to-back weekends, and unfortunately Mother Nature put a wrench in it, and Tabor couldn't get here. So it's been a while since your team has played, but obviously off to a nice 4-0 start, moved into the national poll. I would venture to say you're pretty pleased with how things have started so far.
Yeah, we must be gotten better not playing a game if they thought we needed to be ranked after not playing for a week, but that works. No, it's been fun so far. It worked out well last week. They got to go home. I let them go home after the Monday game, and they went home, and they got back on Thursday, and then we had some stuff going around on our team. Right. So I ended up giving them the day off Thursday, too, after they got back, and we fed them and just sent them home to go to bed. So it probably worked out good that we ended up not playing on Saturday just because we had a little bug. So it was a good week to have some days off.
Yeah, and stuff been going around certainly, and that always affects basketball quite a bit. The 4-0 start, I know we talked about the wins up in St. Joe over Minot and Minnesota State, and then you followed that up with 2 good wins out in the Denver area. Colorado Mesa is a good team. I mean, they've been a perennial NCAA tournament team. They've been to an Elite 8. Had a bit of a down year for them because of injury, but you could see they're going to be right there again. That was a good win. That was a great environment, not a big arena in Lakewood at Colorado Christian, but it was a fun game, and you had to overcome a slow start, and then you got a nice lead, and then you kind of almost gave it away, then had to regroup. So a little bit of everything in that one.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. We pulled up to the gym, and everybody was like, "Are you sure this is the right place?" It's a it's a metal building, and it looks not big enough to hold a gym.
So you put a couple tractors and a combine in there.
Yep, that's what it looked like. And then we had a great fan base. So a bunch of our families came out just because it was kind of the Thanksgiving week, and so it was a lot of fun. We had a great atmosphere. A ton of families were there, and then obviously with the game being close, it was loud and in a small gym, but it was a lot of fun. It was a good atmosphere. And then I joked after the game with Olivia when she missed her free throws that they just wanted to win a one-possession game since we lost so many last year. They wanted to prove that we could win a one-possession game this year.
Well, I'm glad they got it out of their system, and now let's go for winning multiple possession games and not make it so harrowing. But it was good to see. I mean, because it looked like you had it in control, and then it was slipping away, missed some free throws, but your team found a way to still win it. And I think that's a good sign after exactly what you said. That was a big struggle last year, winning those tight games.
Yeah, no, we started out the game just kind of struggling a little bit. Mesa is experienced. They were running what they're used to running. They're used to winning. So I think they went fully expecting to win. And so I think we kind of caught them off guard a little bit that we came away with the win. But I was really proud of the girls for how they battled back after we got down pretty big in the beginning. They just kept chipping away, and we made some shots. We got some better shots, got some stops. And then, we didn't give up. We continued to push through. We were able to play quite a few girls. And every time we put somebody in, I think our pressure ended up wearing them down quite a bit. At the end of the game, you could tell they were more tired than we were.
Then you come back and you play the next day at MSU Denver. That was the only game for them that week, and they were coming off a couple of tough ones on the road against really good programs, a couple of ranked teams. So they've had a really difficult schedule and really struggled a year ago, but you could tell they're going to be a lot better team, and you probably call one of their better efforts, and just a workmanlike win on Monday to get the sweep out in Denver.
Yeah, they had a lot of time to prepare for us, and so they'd actually put in a bunch of different offenses, and so we saw a little different team than we had seen on film. But she's going to get them going. She's a good coach, and they're young. So and they're the games after us. They're playing a couple more ranked teams, so they have a tough schedule. But it was a good win for us to get through them and to be 4-0.
Yeah, it really was, and it was a nice victory. As you said, it was a good, all the parents there, and a little bit bigger facility at MSU Denver, but a good atmosphere, good, as you said, good fan base following you. That makes it for a lot of fun, and it was nice. They could go home after that, but it was a good way to close out that pre-Thanksgiving break, and just a solid effort, and kind of one of those, everybody had moments and stepped up and did some good things.
Yeah, that's been cool to see. So in the 4 games we've played, we've had 7 different people in double-figure points. So that's something, as we're creating scouting reports for other teams, we're putting 7 to 8 kids on a well, for us, you got to put 10, maybe 12 on their scouting. So they're like, what does she do? What does she do? Because we all do such different things that I think we're a hard team to scout and prepare for because we have so many different people that can score.
And it was a chance to get some of your younger players in. I know you kind of, and I don't know if you'll use that all year, but you kind of platooned to give them some moments, and you could tell they were young and figuring it all out. But how do you feel some of those newbies, so to speak, or maybe less experienced players performed?
Yeah, I think they did okay. You could tell they hadn't got a lot of minutes, but those are games that I want to get them in. I want them. You're not going to get better if you're not playing. So I wanted to give them an opportunity to get in and play with some different kids. And we were trying to do some different things on defense just to challenge us a little bit, and it was good to see us adjust.
Have you been, obviously, you being a first-year head coach, you've made a few subtle changes here and there. Do you feel the team has adjusted well to that in your coaching style and just all those nuances that go into it with a new coach?
Yeah, I think before our games started, they were like, does she know what she's doing? I think we'd practiced for so long. They were like, man, I don't know. And then now that games have started and we're starting to see that what we're doing is working, they're starting to believe. So it's been good. But that week before our first game, I was like, man, I don't know if they think we know what we're doing right now, but I'm glad it's worked out in our favor, and we're seeing the fruit of it.
Well, the Tigers will be on the road. They open MIAA play this weekend. They'll be in Tahlequah tomorrow evening, taking on Northeastern State, and then Rogers State on Saturday. And boy, these two teams playing pretty well right now. We'll take a little preview look, but a tough start here in the conference slate for Fort Hays State here to get this thing underway. Fort Hays State Athletics invites you to join Tiger fans with a plan. If you're going to be drinking, always designate a sober driver. We'll take our final break, and then we'll preview the start of MIAA play with Coach Talia Cars as we continue on Tiger Talk here on the Tiger Sports Network, built by PWC.
That was another legend on 99 KZ Country. And yes, before that, we had a brand new artist. Your home for today's stars and the legends. We play real country. I'm Teresa Trapp. Weather, news, sports, it's all here. We're on Facebook, and there is a listen live link at hayespost.com. Dial us in on your radio at 99.5 FM. KHAZ, Real Country. 99 KZ Country.
Ruddle dribbles off to the right wing. Now to Wagner, who hasn't scored yet. Back to Galladay. Left corner three. She put it in. Tigers' second three of the quarter. Sydney Galladay from the left corner. And it is a 12-5 Fort Hays State lead. Yeah, last time the Tigers played out in Denver, that was part of the action in their win over MSU Denver. Now getting set to open up conference play at Northeastern State tomorrow night. Then Rogers State on Saturday afternoon. Before we get to that, we did have an audience question concerning defense. I mean, you've traditionally, Fort Hays State's been man-to-man, but have you been working on any zone? I mean, you're going to be basically a man-to-man type team where you throw some zone in there. How you going about that?
I like our zone, or our man. We haven't practiced any zone. What we're trying to do with our man defense is change it up a lot. So specifically, as you guys watch us throughout the year, notice on a ball screen. So when somebody has the ball and somebody comes to screen them, we're going to change it up on that. And so as you're preparing to figure out, well, how do they guard ball screens, you can kind of adjust your offense how we guard it. Well, we're going to mix it up. So they're not going to know whether we're going to switch it, whether we're going to have a really big hedge, whether we're going to have two people go out on the ball handler. So that's kind of the area that we're trying to switch it up, is with our different lineups, we can kind of do a couple different things depending on how big we are at that point. And so that's kind of the way we're going to try to switch it up on defense.
And I would guess that's something you could change within the course of a game as well.
Yep. No, that's if something's not working, then we've practiced all the different ways we want to do it. And so I can say, okay, we're going to do this now because maybe they've got it figured out. And so the next quarter, we're going to do it this way.
All right, let's talk about the start of conference play. It's hard to believe, and we talked with Coach Johnson, it's here already. In an interesting weekend, in a sense, it's on the road, two tough places to play, and all three teams first-year head coaches in the MIAA. Keith Ferguson at Northeastern, may remember him. He was he coached for quite a while at Bethany College, and then Heather Davis, the head coach at Rogers. He was a longtime assistant for Guy Hardiker down at Central Oklahoma. So a little bit of familiarity there, but kind of unique, and there'll be a lot of those matchups with so many new coaches on the women's side of the MIAA, but you'll face two right out of the gate who are both playing pretty well right now.
Yeah, they are. They both have kind of loaded up the roster with transfers as they came in and got hired. They didn't have a lot coming back, and they went out and they got in the transfer portal and picked out some good kids. They run a lot of the same stuff that they were running at their previous schools, so that's been kind of fun to watch. That it's familiar to what we've seen in the past, but they're going to be a lot more talented this year than they've been.
And Northeastern, they're 3-2 right now, but playing some pretty good ball. And boy, for whatever reason, that's been a tough place to play. I mean, Fort Hays State's had some really good teams. They maybe have won, but it hasn't been easy. And then last time you were there, they clipped you a little bit. So that's always, for whatever reason, been a difficult place for the Tigers to play and win in.
It is, and it's a great facility. It's brand new. It's a fun place to play. They're starting to get more fans. That's something that this new head coach has done a great job of getting the community involved. And so it should be a good atmosphere to play in. And it's just us coming down to realizing they're going to be better than they've been in the past and not overlooking them.
Well, and the conference race, you're picked to be battling for the conference championship. These early games are huge. You got to play well if you have they always say you can't win a title here in November and early December, but you can sure lose one.
Yep. Nope. And that's what we've talked about, is a win against maybe a lower bottom picked team counts the same as the top picked team. So we got to win as many as we can.
Sounds good. Talia, we appreciate it. Safe travels. We'll see you down in Tahlequah tomorrow.
Thanks, Jordan.
There you go. Talia Carr is head coach of the Fort Hays State women. Again, 5:30 and 7:30 tomorrow. We'll be on the air at 5:05 with our Auto World pregame show. And as always, you can use the TuneIn app to listen to us and sync it up with the video feed from the MIAA TV network. Tiger Talk brought to you today by the Taco Shop, also by BTI, the Hayes Mid Orthopedic Institute, and Golden Belt Bank. That'll wrap it up. We'll see you again next Wednesday right here on Tiger Talk on the Tiger Sports Network. Voice of the Tigers, Gerard Welbrock, inviting you to join us for Tiger Talk Wednesday afternoons at 12:10 on KAYS. The show is part of the weekly Tiger Club meetings live from the Robbins Center on the Fort Hays State campus and brought to you by Golden Belt Bank of Hayes and Ellis, the Hayes Med Orthopedic Institute, the Taco Shop, and BTI, your area John Deere dealer. That's Tiger Talk, live from Tiger Club Wednesdays at 12:10 on 94.3 FM and 1400 AM KAYS.